everyone, my name is Silver, and today we're going to be talking about Neverwinter. I mean, I already do that every day, but it's going to be a little bit different this time. I've put, a little bit of time into this game, so I decided to make a video to help people decide whether or not Neverwinter is something that they might be interested in playing. So, Neverwinter is a free-to-play MMORPG for PC, Xbox, and PS4. Neverwinter takes you deep into the realms of Dungeons & Dragons, allowing you to build a character and take them on an adventure through the universe called Faerun. However, you don't actually need to know anything about Dungeons & Dragons in order to understand the game. Me personally, I've never played Dungeons & Dragons. Of course, knowing stuff about D&D will give you more in-depth understanding of the lore behind what's happening, but it's not going to hinder your gameplay in any way. Neverwinter releases 2 to 3 new expansions every year, and there are weekly patches that address in-game bugs or balancing issues. I know one of the concerns that a lot of people have when they're looking for a new game is how often it's updated. The expansions in this game are referred to as modules, with the most recent one being number 16, Undermountain. Each expansion adds a new campaign and then either a new dungeon, skirmish, or epic trial, and these are the group contents that exist in the game. Now, Neverwinter has 8 different classes, so you're sure to find something that suits you. You get 2 character slots for free, but if that's not enough, you can buy more for pretty cheap. There are 13 different races that you can choose for your character, but 4 of them are premium races, so you can't access them unless you buy the appropriate package. However, races don't really have a huge impact on your gameplay or performance, so they're mainly for appearance purposes. There is one exception to this, and that's the Dragonborn race, which has a bonus 3% base damage and is widely regarded as the best race to have. But that's not a reason to choose Dragonborn over another race if you like the look of something else better, unless you're a true min-maxer and want to squeeze the most out of your character that you can. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk about the combat a little bit. If you've looked at any older videos, like anything older than a month or so, you might have heard that Neverwinter doesn't have a huge emphasis on class roles such as tanks or healers. However, in Module 16, these roles have made a resurgence and are actually quite important in most content, so you don't have to worry about not being able to play your role. Some classes have a resource that they have to manage and expend to use their powers, and other ones just have cooldowns. And if you're having trouble deciding which class you want to play, I do plan on having a video out really soon explaining the basics of every class. A lot of the quests in this game are repetitive, such as killing some stuff, turning in the quest, killing some more stuff, but in the recent modules, Cryptic has incorporated more interesting mechanics to keep it from getting as boring. And this could range from disguising yourself as the enemy, turning enemies into fish, or listening to a crazy man rave about eggs and how awesome eggs are. I mean, I think that one takes the cake. Combat in general is slower in Mod 16 compared to previous modules, and some would say it lacks any sort of form or power rotations or anything like that, but you do really have to be more aware of what's happening than before. Prior to Mod 16, there were so many buffs and debuffs you could apply to each other in your party that there really wasn't much need to avoid enemy attacks or really pay attention at all. But in Mod 16, you do have to be somewhat more careful of your positioning and the health of your teammates, especially if you're a healer. Now, if you do happen to reach the point in the game where you've completed all the campaigns and have maxed out a lot of your stuff, Neverwinter does get a bit more boring. This is what's called the Endgame. A lot of people just log in to get their daily VIP keys, run a few dungeons to get their daily Astral diamonds, maybe chat with friends for a bit or help them out, and then you log off. But unless you spend a bunch of money to speed up your progress, you won't really reach this point for a little while. The real game doesn't even start until after you're level 80, which is the level cap. But Cryptic is adding different ways to make content more difficult and engaging for the endgame players. 2 examples of this is the hardcore mode for dungeons and the Tales of Old event, which brings older, easy content up to endgame level. Since I mentioned money, let's talk a little bit about Neverwinter's payment model. One question a lot of people ask before starting a new game is it pay to win? Well, Neverwinter is not pay to win, but it's more like pay for convenience. Most of the items you can buy will speed up your progression in some way or make playing more convenient, such as by increasing your inventory or bank space, instantly completing campaigns, or getting refinement items from lockboxes so you can upgrade your stuff faster. Everything in Neverwinter can be obtained without spending real money. Yes, everything. Neverwinter has something called the Astral Diamond Exchange, which allows you to exchange Astral Diamonds, which is the main currency in the game, for Zen, which is the premium currency. There is a wait time before you get your Zen, but it's better than spending real money. If you want to know more about the premium store, I do have a review video that you can check out in the sidebar. Neverwinter is a very grindy game, so if you want to reach the endgame level and be among the best of the best, it's going to take either a lot of time or money. Like I said, it's pay for convenience. You'll get there either way. Alright, now it's time to talk about a couple of the issues that a lot of people have with Neverwinter, and the most prominent of these is Module 16 as a whole. If you've looked up anything about Neverwinter recently, you probably saw that a lot of people are upset about Mod 16 and a good amount of them quit the game. One important thing to note about this is that the changes that cause these players to quit will have no impact on the new players. New players have no reference for what the game was like before, and the changes wouldn't have affected them anyway until they reach a certain point in progression. Of course, a lot of the concerns of these people are valid, absolutely, but as you might expect, most people don't like change and are opposed to it in any form. That being said, the developers are working to fix Mod 16 problems and have admitted that they need to listen to the community better in the future. I was an early beta tester for Mod 16, and I can say that the state of the game has made exponential improvements and is still continuing to improve every week. And since Mod 16 was a complete overhaul of many core aspects of the game, now is a great time for new players to jump in. If you're returning to the game, you have to be willing to relearn your class and maybe learn a completely different playstyle to go with it. New players won't have that problem. Mod 16 has also removed one of the most annoying things for new players, and that's older, more experienced players rushing through low-level content. With their new scaling method, endgame players will be scaled down to roughly the strength you would be in a low-level dungeon, meaning you won't get left in the dust trying to keep up while the old players murder everything and run ahead. However, scaling is a major issue for a lot of people in Mod 16 because it makes them feel like their progression was not worth anything. But that's a topic for a whole other video. I am going to talk about one of the other biggest issues in Mod 16, and that's customization. Neverwinter used to have 45 different feats that you could choose from, but in Mod 16 this was reduced to 10, with you only being able to choose 5 of them. The purpose of that was to make it more straightforward and the feats more impactful, and there's arguments about whether or not this was actually achieved, but from my experiences on the 3 main classes I play, I have found the feats to prove useful. I just wish there were more of them. Another concern of a lot of players is the overall game activity, like how many people are online at a time. This number has been going down recently before Mod 16, and I haven't checked up on it yet after Mod 16, but I don't think it has increased a whole lot. I have noticed that queue times are longer if you're queuing for public dungeons, but I haven't had any problems forming groups on my own. And I do still see a lot of people running around whenever I go to the different zones. Now for a couple of things that I didn't really think fit into any other section. Although Neverwinter can be accessed on Xbox and PS4 as well as PC, the 2 console platforms do have a 2 to 3 month wait period before they get each new update. However, this means that a lot of the glaring issues in the new content are fixed while it's live on PC, which results in smoother console releases. One of the most important things you can do to enjoy the game is to play with friends and/or join a guild. Guilds have semi-customizable strongholds that you can work on with your friends, upgrade special boon structures that give you bonus stats, and you can decorate your guild hall. You do have to complete a few areas before you'll be permitted to use the auction house, trade with other players, or use global chat. So joining a guild is even more important so you have people to communicate with early on. However, not having access to global zone chats isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially in Protector's Enclave, the main city. There are a lot of trolls and toxic people there whose only goal is to set you off and start arguments. But there are a lot of helpful people beneath the surface of the negative Nancys, though. If you are interested in trying out Neverwinter and want a little boost, I do have a referral link that you can use that will get you a free companion and a new set of gear every 5 levels. And once you reach level 20, you'll also get a sweet mount. You can find a link in the description below. And lastly, the single most important tip I can give any new player is don't rush your progress and play to have fun. Neverwinter is good for casual players because the more you upgrade your stuff, the longer it takes to upgrade it all again, meaning progress is slower the further you go, so don't rush. You'll just get frustrated and feel like you aren't getting anywhere. Thank you guys for watching or listening or whatever. And let me know in the comments what you think about Neverwinter, or if you're going to try it out, or how long you've been playing. Maybe leave some tips for the new players out there too. If you weren't sure if you wanted to play Neverwinter, hopefully this video gave you a little bit of an overview of what it's going to be like and whether or not you might be interested. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.